Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. It's time for the J. Craig Podcast. Playing on headphones near you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode, a fantastic episode of the J. Craig Podcast. I'm sitting next to my main man, Robert Ericksen.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
What's happening, my man?
Yeah.
Thanks for being here, everybody. I'm Jay of the J. Craig Podcast. If you're not familiar with us, we're a movie entertainment podcast. Movies, music and movies, video games and movies, everything movies, right?
Yeah.
So if you like that, hit the like button, subscribe, follow us. If you're familiar with us, thanks for being here. So I'm back with Rob.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me back here.
Hey, welcome again to Mikasa.
Thanks, man.
And we have video this time. This is cool.
That's right.
Or at least we think it's going to record.
We hope so.
It probably will.
We hope so.
Your mobile recording is pretty tight, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Logitech camera didn't work.
No,
Kick
but,
that to the
hey,
curb.
man, we do what we got to do.
Do what we got to do.
Well, we're here, so we're going to have some fun.
We're here, and it better be about something movies, and it better be about something music, because you're with Music Man, dude.
That's exactly
Welcome.
right, and that's exactly what we're going to do today.
All right.
Is we're going to talk about something kind of a cross, movie and music.
Okay.
In this way, we're going to talk about the music biopic.
Okay.
Okay, because obviously you have Queen, you have the Bohemian Rhapsody.
It's
movie that
huge
just came
right
out.
now. Oh my
Huge,
gosh.
Right? And if you notice, there's kind of a trend with them coming out every year. And they come out at the same time of year. It's always this time of year. This is like Oscar fodder.
What was last year's model?
It might have been the year before that. It was Straight Outta Compton.
Oh, I know that. Yeah,
Right.
that was huge.
So it's not every year necessarily, and there might be one every year. I think
Okay.
Tupac came out the year after that, and the Tupac one we'll talk about in a second.
Okay,
And it's,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well, so we're gonna talk about movie. Let's hold up a minute.
Yeah, we'll
here.
get there. Yeah.
Let's hold up. So we're gonna talk about the music biopic and how I think it's an increasing platform, new genre, if you will,
Yeah.
right? But I really want to start with something different. That's still related to music and movies in a way, but it's a Netflix special, or I don't want to say special, but Netflix series called Hip Hop Evolution.
I watched it.
You did?
I did.
Nice.
Watched all the episodes.
Okay.
Wow.
Did you watch it in order?
I did.
I
I
did
did.
not.
I came into it. Well, it said new episodes available, so I was like, oh, let me go see what this is about. And yeah, true. It defaulted me on season 2. I was like, whoa, because I saw Grandmaster Flash. I was like, well, I'm going back there because I just happen to know from the many times and many documentaries that have tried to pursue hip hop, history, if you will. They called it evolution or revolution.
I thought it was evolution.
Evolution. I think it is.
Yeah.
It's like the evolution of hip hop.
Right, because now it's on the second season's done. The third season should be coming soon, I imagine.
I hope so.
And I kind of stumbled upon this, and I had no idea about it. And then I mentioned it to you, and you were like, "Ooh, was it on Q?" I'm like, "You need to watch that shit."
Yeah.
I got to it first.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
I like when I get to.
Now,
stuff
I
first.
watched The Get Down, which was a Netflix special.
You told me about that.
And that was really, my friend Jeff calls it, it's like the after school special version where it's like, dramatize and romanticize a little bit. I mean, it really was, and that's true. It's hard to toe the line when you're a documentary or a historical, what do they call it? Historical fiction? Because you do have to be somewhat historically accurate. Like in Glory, there had to be Civil War moments and moments that had to be historically accurate, but then you're also trying to tell a story with these characters. So like, you can't
There's some leniency.
You can't have it both ways, right? And let's be very clear, Hip Hop Evolution was a documentary. A straight up documentary,
we should say that.
And it got it right. It got it absolutely right.
Really right.
Right.
And I can't wait to see the next part of it. And this is my least favorite part of rap is what's coming up in the third season.
Oh, okay.
But it's my least favorite part of it. But going into this,
I feel like I feel like they left off like around the millennial time. They left off around 2000. There's still some good hip hop, I think, between 2000 and maybe.
I think you're right.
Maybe there's 5 or 6, but it's true. Anything I feel like post 2010, it comes in. It's more R&B though, and I think this has happened. Gosh, we're on a tangent here. This happens in hip hop evolution. You saw
right.
R&B was the major seller for a little while, and then hip hop comes back,
right,
and then it goes ebbs and flows because and it takes certain moguls. This is what happened with Drake. I think that's what's going on with the Drake and everything. He's like the new MC Hammer. He's breaking records and like selling so many things, streaming so much. Like wow, Drake. I don't like it. I'm sorry. Some of his music's kind of catchy. It's kind of cool, but for me, like how much I like it, it doesn't warrant the millions and billions of dollars. And it's like Taylor Swift. I mean, it's just it's music, it's opinion. I don't want to piss anyone off. I mean, he's good at what he does, though. He's a businessman, and he's and there's people who are breaking all kinds of records. It seems like, and is that because the technology is evolving and more people have access to stream and buy now? It's like, yeah, there wasn't a streaming record to break 15
true.
years ago because people weren't doing our music. We weren't streaming 15 years ago.
Right,
You know?
right,
So,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's different classifications. You can't.
Right.
It's almost hard to choose. It's like athletes. You can't judge them.
Right.
From the 70s.
Right.
To the now or
Right.
80s or 90s. It's just different time frame, different games, different kind of athletes in different times, man.
Right.
Things change. But that's what I liked about the hip hop evolution is that it went through the thing that I loved about rap and then the stuff I didn't know about.
Right.
And I started.
there's
I
a
asked
lot
you
of-
if you caught it straight through because I jumped in as I think it was a season 1 episode or first episode of the second season. It was a Southern episode.
That's right. Yeah. It's just,
The Luther Campbell 2 Live Crew stuff.
right. It started in Miami. That's right.
And quite frankly, to get my attention into this thing,
yeah.
oh man, that's all it took.
Yeah.
That or the next episode.
Yeah.
It had me.
But you see how much they focused on, and this is how they got it right, because this is what's right about hip hop and what's beautiful about that art form is it's rebellious.
Absolutely.
And can I say, like
rock and roll.
I mentioned in our previous podcast, how I mentioned about video games. I mean, how long has video games been around? Really? I mean,
Right.
and how long has hip hop been around? That's what's cool. It
Right.
hasn't been around for 100 years. It's not like movies, you know. It's not like like film or stage. It's been around for 1,000 years, you know. This is a new art form, man, you know, and they could trace it all the way back. What I like, they're tracing it back when they go the real way back. Some artist, I forget his name now, but he would just talk over the records with this low voice.
Right.
It was just like, oh man, and he said these like burn phrases, and it was like, oh man, you know, it goes back there. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I think it goes back farther, honestly. There's call and response, all kinds of things that have been happening throughout history. And you know what, frankly, it's Black history, and that's cool. And I feel like they did get it right because it just, I mean, I can't speak as a black man, but man, that's pretty much the rebelliousness of it. I love that, how Luther Campbell, I didn't know he fought that hard in court.
Right.
I mean, I heard about it.
I remember it.
I remember that, and I remember Sicker not being on, and then all of a sudden was on. I was like, oh, because we lived through that era. But him going to court and being, I mean, his art form, that guy was so... and all he did to get there. Like, see, let's talk about him, right, in the yard or out of his house, like having block parties at his house. Like, he really grew himself up and got there and was successful. And all of a sudden, like he said, he called it. He's like, you know what? Don't be too popular in business because white man's gonna come knock you down. You know, he said that his uncle was a plumber or something. Remember?
Right.
He said something about that, and he took it like it was a racially charged thing. I didn't get that at the time. I just thought it as like, well, you are kind of saying like, fuck this, fuck that. It's pretty graphic. I mean, it's only a matter of time. I mean, but at the same time, was Andrew Dice Clay getting heat? Because I remember as a kid, we would quote that. That was our naughty thing to say, was some of his rhymes and stuff at the nursery year. But then it turned into 2 Live Crew lyrics and definitely NWA lyrics, dude. Me and my friends, we're all, dude, we're all a bunch of white boys from the suburbs.
Hey, man, and that's...
You know, it's just hilarious.
Right. It is funny that we were that into it.
Yeah.
You know, because it is... It comes from something else, right? Something that we can't understand as white boys from the suburbs of Detroit or wherever.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and
Ann Arbor.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, I loved the music. Like when I saw the Run DMC stuff on the Hip Hop Evolution, it just was like, oh, that's where it started for me. Is the Raising Hell. Run DMC, and then it went from there, and all of a sudden it was. I remember 2 Live Crew, and I remember Kid Rock. Yes, Kid Rock was a rapper first. You know,
right?
And he was produced by Too Short, and I was big into Too Short.
Yeah.
And then the NWA came around, and I was so into rap. And then I kind of phased out, like late '90s, like when I was in college, mid '90s is when I started to phase out.
Okay.
And I just didn't like the music anymore. Yeah. But
it took a turn. And historically, it took a turn then.
It always takes turns.
And that's what I'm saying. It's taking these turns, and it'll come back.
Right.
You know, and I think that's what started this tangent is like hip hop goes from being like rap, like very lyrical,
right?
Like a Wu-Tang, like there is no chorus, there is no freaking singing, dude. It's just straight up just raps all through it, right? You know, just like really dense, like the pound cake of like, you know, hip hop albums.
Yeah.
And then there's like, you know, the ones with the hooks. They got to have the hooks, you know, or they got to have like the stuff in the late '90s. Maybe you didn't like that. They were, remember Every Breath You Take. Puffy was
Puffy. Yeah, that's when I started phasing out.
Yeah, because he started really, and that was brought up in Soundbreaking,
B.I.G.
which
even
was
Tupac's heyday. I was phasing out
all that stuff, but see. That was explained in the series called Soundbreaking on PBS. If you guys check that out, everyone, please. Okay. That's the first episode is about producers, and they talk about Dre because he's just like, you know, $1 million producer. The guy's just brilliant, dude. I look up to him so much. And but what was happening is hip hop changed from now drum machines and stuff. You know, it got to the point of, well, we have to clear the sample. Well, we're going to clear the sample, huh? Well, Puffy Puff Daddy at the time, P Diddy. What's he called now?
Just Diddy.
Just
P.
I don't know, man. The guy's he's also brilliant, but I mean the name thing he's not. He's apparently
name, man.
Can't get it right. Yeah, probably can't get it. It's all good. But he decided he was brilliant. Yeah. Listen, he's brilliant because it went from if I got to clear this sample, I'm just gonna get the whole song.
Right.
Ever been to a store, right?
That's true.
Like,
that's true.
Like, hey, a whole sandwich, $9.99. Or we can get the half sandwich for $7.99. It's like, now hold on a second. That's not half the price. So I think that's what his thinking was. And he's like, I'll just take the whole song. Right. And it did get funny. And I got phased out too then because I was honing my chops as a musician, trying to start bands, trying to create music from the ground up.
Right.
Not just like steal a Police song and rap over it. So that I had a problem with hip hop at that time. But there was other hip hop happening too because Wu-Tang, a lot of people dropped. 96 was a golden age of hip hop, they call it. But I'm just saying there's a paradigm shift in business.
Seriously, 96 was the golden age of hip hop?
No, that wasn't the golden age is the 80s, obviously, and they explain that in
That's why I'm so puzzled.
But there's critics and people that say 1996 was one of the best, if not the best, single year of hip hop.
I see.
And there's reasons behind it, and you can look into it. I mean,
I'm sure they're right. Yeah. I don't know what I'm talking about. I know is what I know from the past.
Well, I don't know about right because this is subjective. This is very opinion based. When people say this is the tastiest nacho, it's like really. I
thought it would be more like dollar wise, right? Like
and that's the thing. Just because records are breaking, golden age. Because that's true. I was saying golden because of quality.
Sure,
and timeless. I think gold means it's also timeless.
I see.
Because gold doesn't tarnish. You know what I mean? I think it does actually.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'll look into it, but so they call that. But no, they make that clear in the documentary. The late '80s was the golden age. I think. Absolutely. Beastie Boys, Run DMC, absolutely Too Short, and everyone's starting from the ground up. That's what I loved. It was like you almost want to see a map in real time. Is it like how a virus spreads, and they show oh wow, and then it goes to here and then travels. How it started, and there was these epicenters, and the guy covered all of them, man. He didn't cover every artist, I don't think, because I feel like Outkast was very underrepresented in the Southern, but was Outkast, were they on the shoulders of the other two? Those other two they covered, those guys. Because I actually had never heard of those guys, and I was like, wow, these guys are brilliant too. So, yeah.
And that's what's beautiful about it is finding out where everything comes from.
Right.
And that's what I've always been fascinated with, even just movies in general.
Yeah.
Is finding out where that inspiration came from that. And who they were inspired by when they made that. And then go watch their movies and see the connections.
Yeah.
And then you find out, oh my God, that's tied over to here?
Right.
And that actor was in this with this guy? And
that is
that's
exactly,
I love that.
That's exactly what music is.
Yeah.
In the community, right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when you go back on this and see, I only remember what I remember was from 85 through 95. We'll say a good 10 years of rap loving.
Yeah.
And as a boy from Sterling Heights, Michigan, I loved it.
Yeah.
That's all I loved.
It was the thing.
It was it.
So one of our favorite video games to play is SSX Tricky, which has the Run DMC soundtrack in it. So that was another resurgence because, and that was PS2. So that came out after college. That's when we reunited when we were really, you were doing a lot of film. You were really actually boots in the ground doing films, short films, and the films we did together, music wise. So
playing with matches.
That game came out, so that was like how many years after that? That was brilliant when they did that too, because that's another resurgence. Okay?
It had to be at least 5 or 6 years after
so
that.
old school hip hop it's. I don't know, man. These days you can get anything you want. Everything's on demand. So it's hard to say that a resurgence will happen because I think everyone has their own resurgences. Like I'm going through a really heavy synthesizer wave right now. So I'm like, synthwave is really cool. And it's like a year ago I probably wouldn't have liked it that much. I can't say, synthwave's coming back right now just because I'm into it right now. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you get that, especially with the internet and everyone's like, oh, it's this. It's like, that's your own little bubble, man. You and your friends may be into it, but I don't know. So I guess we do point at the dollars and do point at what sells the best.
Sure, of course we do. Yeah.
But yeah, that documentary was so good.
Yeah, it was good. And I did not want to watch the early stuff like the Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. That wasn't my thing, right? And I don't know a lot about it, so watching that and being almost like made to, I had to watch that episode. I was so impressed.
Oh, okay.
Like finding out how it started was more dance music.
Yeah.
And how it became, then the vocals weren't even involved for quite a long time until that became involved.
Right.
And why they weren't producing records yet.
And why did they have a need for the MC? Right. So rap goes back to the MC.
Yeah.
And MC is the master of ceremonies. Why? Because hip hop started from a community party. It came from a party. Hip hop was born in a party. And I don't know which one single party. I mean, they say it was Cool Herc's parties, probably.
That's what they said.
And I've seen that before. I've seen that in lots of documentaries. We should put in the link down there. Put a link to some of the things we're talking about. I don't know if we've ever done that, but remember Scratch? It was one of my prerequisites for anyone that was a friend or definitely a girlfriend of mine. I was like, you have to know somebody. Definitely in my DJ years too. This was like 10 years ago.
I remember that cover very, very well.
Yeah.
It was in our collection for a long time when we were living together.
If you watch that, they touch on things. Where did turntablism and scratching come from? And the record or the crayon thing is true, and it was in the Get Down. Grandmaster Flash used a crayon to mark when the break was with wax, and the crayon is brilliant, dude. And it just like came across. It's the simplest thing, and it was just like.
And then he realized he stopped it. He was like, "Oh,
right there." And then if I go around one again, so here it goes. And he taught you how to do it in there. I was like, "That's how you do it."
And it was so quick and so you were like, it was blowing me away. There was sometimes where this it was moving too fast for me.
Yeah.
Where I was like, I didn't know all this, and it was like, what?
Well, they do beat juggling. I've seen people do that. That'll blow your mind. And then there's tricks. There's turntablism, and that Scratch gets into that. That's another documentary, like I said. But it's brilliant. I mean, but anyway, that's why hip hop started. And then they're like, well, that's boring because it's kind of like what I'm doing with my live show. It's gonna be me like doing a lot of stuff, not looking at the audience, not really singing and saying much.
Right.
It's like when people say, well, I went to Moby concert. How was it? It's like, it was okay. I don't know. He like was in there, and then he ran around, and he was like, go, and then came out and one time and went back, and just wasn't that entertaining, And it's like, Moby sells all these records. He has this huge following, and I wouldn't doubt that his live performance is kind of boring. So they made MCs, and MCs got up, and they had to go, all right, now I'm here now. And if you've ever done a live show, musicians who are watching, between songs is a little bit of an awkward part, or if someone's like string breaks or if the record skips. It's like, oh, hey, moving right along. Hey, your mama's so fat, blah, blah, blah. And they would burn people, and they would use stuff from their dad's record. How many times did they say we were listening to my dad's record collection in there? That's what got me. I was just like, oh, man, I wanted to call my dad right there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Guess where the first place we met and had our house what was on the turntable all the time was my dad's records, man. Nice. I mean, Herbie Hancock Thrust was in my dad's collection.
Oh,
nice. We played that. We like.
Oh yeah, man.
Probably wore a hole in it. Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times we played that. That record.
So it was just that series just brought so much love and childhood memories to me. So I don't know, documentaries done right.
And I'm not a big documentary guy. Unless it's a subject I really want to know about, and that really impressed me. And I'm not a music guy. Like I drove here like primarily without any music on, radio turned off, because I'm cool with that. Like I like the sound of the world.
But maybe that's why this is good to talk about music biopics, because maybe that's something music biopics do for you, which they don't do necessarily for me. I mean, for me, there's a different approach. So let's talk about that. Let's dive in here. So the first thing I wanted to bring up for everyone is, what is a music biopic? Because I started thinking.
I got a more important question for you.
Okay.
Is it biopic or biopic?
Biopic sounds like myopic, and myopic is like when someone's self-centered. I think the definition of it is you're very closed-minded and tunnel vision. Like, you're being very myopic here, dude. Like, you're only thinking one solution. So I don't know.
But it's a different word.
I know it's still a different word. I'm just saying that's in my vocabulary, myopic. So I always said biopic.
Oh, I see. That's why you're saying
biopic.
I got it.
Biopic sounds like a company that sells like a thing for your tooth.
Man,
I got a biopic here. Oh, really? It's like a toothpick that's living.
Right.
It's like I don't know.
Is it biography or is it biography?
It's not biography. I can tell you that.
Okay,
much.
So why is it biopic?
I work with some people that say chromatography because it's chromatography.
Okay.
Chromatography.
That's a long one, though. That's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
I would probably do the same thing.
Well, these are the people also that need to determine. They need to determine. Oh, determine?
Oh.
When they said determine, I was like, what's going on? It took me a good 10 minutes. A few conversations. I was like, oh, determine.
No one's ever
said that.
I've never heard that before.
But it's okay.
That is awesome, by the way.
It is awesome.
Someone said to you that now that's in your vocabulary.
Yeah. Well, when English is their second language, I can't say I can't bite on them. I was just like, I should say it first. I'm not. It just. Yeah, it was like determine. But I knew who I was talking to. I was like, oh, okay, you got the word wrong. Cool.
Right,
that's fine.
exactly.
So I don't think...
It's all about the context, Rob. You got to film you in here.
Yeah, I don't think it's... Yeah, sorry. I don't think it's biopic. Okay. I really don't.
So that's what Bob says. Bob, you know Bob. Bob's like, oh, no, it's biopic. And I looked it up, and I think it even says, like, bio, and, the way it's...
I'm like,
what the hell, man? I don't care what it's called. I'm going to call it biopic.
Let's move forward.
Okay.
So what the heck is one? Because... By the way, what's also huge right now is the Lady Gaga movie. So when I said that to a coworker, I was like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, my buddy's coming over to talk about music biopics." Okay, She's like, oh yeah, Stars Born, man. That's a great. I'm like, no, that's not technically a biopic. So let's break it down. What is a biopic? A biopic.
So essentially it's a movie to me. Anyways, I don't know the definition. If there's a definition, to me, it's about a musician or a band. It's a music that is a biography, if you will, of a dramatized biography.
Okay.
Biography of a band, of a musician, pure and simple.
Okay.
Okay. And that's it.
So A Star Is Born is not a biopic.
I don't think so.
Because it's not about any one musician. No. It's not actually about Lady Gaga.
Right. I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, now if Coal Miner's Daughter wasn't about Loretta Lynn and it was a different name, then it wouldn't be a biography.
Well, what Coal Miner's Daughter, that rings a bell. That's a song she wrote.
Yeah, and that's the movie. It was Sissy Spacek
Sissy Spacek plays Loretta Lynn.
Yeah.
No, that's a biopic.
Exactly.
Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody.
You said biopic.
I did?
Yeah.
We'll get a little counter on the bottom. Look, a little score. We'll put your score here and my score over there, and then we'll see at the end who wins.
Now
make a video game out of it.
Shit, now I have to do that.
Yeah, you got to do edits. Yeah, we'll copy paste from Tekken or something. Boop boop.
All right. So okay, but that's what I think a biopic.
Yeah.
Is about.
No, fair enough. Let's just
So it's and again, I'm not a music guy, so it has to be some. And that's the funny thing about biopics is that I don't always know the audio or the artist that well. Like I didn't know a lot about Johnny Cash.
Right.
And watching that movie made me want to listen to more Johnny Cash.
Don't you want to listen to more hip hop now? That's what I was getting at. I was like, if you do it done right, they're gonna make you get more into it. And see,
and this is something that
right now. Johnny Cash is something that I'm not really pulling on. But let's say you watched a biopic about something, and like I already knew so much about it. Biopic. Biopic. I don't know what I'm saying. So let's say I'm watching it,
right?
And if it's like a band like I just know and love. Like actually, the Ray Charles is a great example. I knew a lot of that about his whole like discography. I kind of because I've studied Ray Charles before, so I knew like the order of like things were coming out. Like if they come out with a Herbie Hancock one, I'll be like, oh dude, I'm right here. I know that. And not you because you're a big Herbie fan too. But someone else might be like, I learned so much. Like I'll be like, I didn't learn that much.
Right.
Not that it's a contest, but that's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Is that these hip hop these documentaries and these biopics are very good at teaching you and showing you what you're doing,
and that's great, and that
or what they're doing,
right, and that's the whole point is to get you involved, and make it. But that's what makes a good one, though.
Okay,
so what makes a good?
You know what, and that's good from my perspective, from the music man's perspective. It's accuracy and believability with the performance. Or else it's going to take me out of it. Now, this talks about immersion. This talks about a very important element to both movie, music, and video games. Just your ability to remain focused on it. You're immersed in it. I really feel like I'm there.
Right.
Like certain movies do that in spades, right? But the good biopic is like, dude, I'm actually there with him. During these highs and these lows, and watching him. And Rami Malek is Freddie Mercury.
Right.
He is. I mean, I'm just not even. It's just that. Wow. I'm right there.
Right.
See, and you forget it, everything else melts away. That's great. So when it does that, that's what I'm saying. That for one has to be believable.
Yeah.
So let's say he was doing it, and like, it's just hard to explain. Like, what if it wasn't done that well? What if he wasn't wearing the right clothes, and then he didn't have the right moves? You know what I mean? Because he's had to study all those moves. What if it just didn't look right? You see what I'm saying?
Well, and that's going to hurt it then, right?
That's what I'm saying,
right? And so it has to. It has to be authentic.
Authentic. I think that's what I'm getting at. Yeah. Because when it's wrong. I'm saying this. You don't necessarily know when it's right. Just like a good music score.
Right.
Is I don't notice it. I'm so freaking enthralled, but I can tell you when it's bad. I can absolutely tell you when it's like, dude, that's not believable.
Right.
I hate to do it because I talked about it in a previous podcast. Is we hate the people who are like, man, he didn't have the glasses on in the last scene, or, oh, that gun doesn't sound like that. Oh,
right.
I hate to be snobbish, but I can't let it go, and it breaks my immersion as a guitar player when I see Sean Penn playing the guitar. Now he did pretty good, but there's Sweet Lowdown. Yeah. There's. But you know what I mean? And just because I'm a guitar player. Meanwhile, Jamie Foxx actually does know how to play piano. Probably not as good as Ray Charles, but I don't know how to play piano that well.
Right.
So in my mind, Jamie Foxx did amazing at piano, but there's my professional piano friends who are probably like, yeah, he did okay, So that, it is what it is. And perspective, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
So that's why I don't want to say what makes a good one versus a bad one is its ability to, like, really do that, because that's only matters to the person who's watching it.
I see.
I want to see, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't want to take away, because I'm pretty sure Sissy Spacek did not play guitar, or maybe I don't. Let me see it. And,
I don't know.
Because
I'm sure she plays the. I'm sure she plays the guitar in the movie, but I'm not sure
if she's just kind of strumming and it's just like, and she doesn't. The chords are changing, but her fingers never.
Right. I'm not watching that.
And who cares?
I'm not looking at that.
And
right?
maybe the shots, the cinematographer kind of found ways to just cut the guitar out of it. You know, it's there, but we can't really
behind the shoulder shots.
But when you're with that Woody Allen movie, I'm telling you, Sean Penn did a good job.
Right. See, now that's one reason why
when he was going up and going down, it was like he was really moving, and he knew that when it went fast, his fingers were moving faster. Mm-hmm. I mean, it wasn't the right scales, but at the same time, when I just
well, that's
it was so close that I was like,
it has to be close enough.
It was close enough.
You know that they're not going to be exactly, because then they would be they would be
okay. But what about Val Kilmer? Didn't he sing all the parts in The Doors?
And Joaquin Phoenix sang all the songs in
Walk the Line.
Walk the Line.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, there's some.
And then the female lead, she's super talented. I'm sure she sang. Was it Reese Witherspoon?
Reese Witherspoon, I believe she sang. So that's the thing is nowadays, like A Star Is Born.
Okay.
You know, like those,
right.
And
that's what my coworker said. He's like, dude, that actor guy, Bradley Cooper sang all the parts,
and he directed it.
And I didn't know that. Yeah. So I gave him the props there, and my coworker, I was like, that I see. That's why you like it.
Yeah.
So there's a common thread. I'm sorry.
Oh, absolutely.
Everyone likes authenticity.
Yeah.
And if the actor can sing, that's like.
Yep.
So maybe we should just call that the standard, man. Because I mean.
Yeah. I mean, seriously.
Dude. Yeah.
But that's the thing is it doesn't. You know, they're not always going to be the singer, right? I'm pretty sure.
Oh, who can actually sing like Freddie Mercury?
Yeah, exactly.
Really here. Yeah.
Exactly.
When they do a Robert Plant. It's
right.
Like,
now I know.
Sing like that.
Ice Cube's son sang Ice Cube's lyrics, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I believe those guys were all.
Yeah.
I believe I might be completely inaccurate about that.
Because he was in a few. I don't know enough to split hairs with you, but let's go with that.
Jason Wright.
He was in Straight Outta
the guy who
Compton.
played Eazy-E.
Yeah.
Or the guy who played Ice Cube.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't see the movie yet.
Oh, you haven't seen that?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh,
I know.
My goodness.
And I looked it up because I was curious. It is the highest grossing selling biopic of all
It
time.
is a really good movie because it hits my sweet spot.
Oh yeah, because
I loved NWA and Eazy-E, and I actually learned about NWA after I knew about Eazy-E, or he was like breaking records and shit.
Yeah.
And I checked it out, and my parents were like, "What the fuck are you listening to?"
Yeah.
And
no kidding, man.
Right? It was crazy. Yeah. So then I heard that. I was like, oh my God, this is from that's NWA, that's Eazy-E. Yeah. And I made the connection. I was like, oh, where's this rabbit hole go? And then I started looking into it, but it wasn't as easy back then. You didn't have the internet where you could just look up shit.
Nope, you didn't.
You just had to like go to the record store.
Yeah.
And look through credits and
MTV helped too, because you could see people in the videos. That was also helpful. I was like,
very true.
That's that one dude. Oh, no way.
Right.
Like when Young MC and Flea had the puppet pants, and he was playing bass. I was like, "That's a cool bass guy." And then I got into Chili Peppers, and I was like, "Hey, it's a dude with the puppet pants," And I was like, "Oh, he's in a band." Okay,
make the connections.
Connections, exactly, exactly. And then you get Rick Rubin going on, and you're like, "Wow, Rick Rubin, who's this guy?" Producer and Dre, and then it goes from there. Yeah, because there's so many levels, and that's what I've come to appreciate.
Right.
One more side tangent is just. If a musician is good at his or her business, that's the new respect I have for the longevity. If yes, can your music stand up over time would be a really great thing. Something like Jimi Hendrix or the Led Zeppelin, like their music's just timeless because it's just awesome music.
Right.
And there is people making that music now. And if you can find doing that, and that's what I'm saying about these films. Which of these biopics? Because I go through these biopics, and you got me all like really hung up on it. I go through these and I'm weeding them out, and I'm like, well, what makes it great? What doesn't make it great? And I think we should talk about that.
And I think
that's
really,
what we're talking
obviously
about.
It's about taste and what you like about
the
music.
It's true, but
what's a good movie?
Right.
I think that's the most important.
Yeah,
part.
no kidding. You're
because
right.
Because
I still will watch 10 Commandments because it's just a pretty good movie, even though I don't really think it's that great. But
you like it because you like it.
It's well done. It's also well done.
It's
for 1959. Yeah, exactly.
1959. But one thing that I want to mention about what we find interesting about these movies before we go into that is I think it's more voyeuristic.
Oh yeah.
Because we love, especially nowadays, we always want to know all the television, the websites, everything you can constant information.
Yeah,
and being able to look, and obviously
Me Show or
rock
whatever.
stars are
Yeah.
they're the rock idols, right? They live a lifestyle. They are
Role
they're
models.
rich and right? And they're rich and maybe not always good role models.
No.
Rich and famous, and they're just like that. They have that life that everyone kind of dreams about, right? So when you get to see behind the scenes, I think there's two different things happen. One, it brings them down to reality a little bit.
Right.
You finally look behind the curtain and find out what's behind the Wizard of Oz, right? And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it kind of like brings them down to earth a little bit. At the same time, it lets you see like sometimes the creation, how they did it, the struggles, the strife. And I think that's what's important is it's still voyeuristic is you want to see people's struggles sometimes. Maybe not you don't want to, but you can't stop watching it then.
Yeah.
Right? And I think we like that for some reason as a
I
as
do.
a race.
The best voyeuristic part, and this goes the hip hop thing, because I've always liked this part.
Oh.
When they're at the party,
He just walks out of the
and
screen here.
they're at the party, and what are they doing? I didn't start drinking 40s, honestly, until I started listening to hip hop.
Fantastic.
And why do I still drink 40s?
Man, that is...
Because maybe I don't like getting up and going to the fridge.
That's awesome.
Cheers.
That'll do. So the voyeuristic part, I think that's a really
and that's
important
what
why
I'm
they're
saying,
why
because
they're popular.
no, I don't ever want to shoot heroin, but it's really great. I'm telling you, going and watching Ray, I'm bearing the lead here. I'm like mentioning all my favorite biopics, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, show me you're high on your heroin and show me why it was amazing for you, but you're going to sure as heck show me that demon and show me that dark side and show me why, kid, you never touched this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think that's what's mostly important about most of these biopics is that they're not glamorous type of biopics where it's all wine and roses and everything's happy.
Right.
And, we know that there's struggles, and we know more than ever, everyone knows about those struggles from them to a certain extent, right? At least if you heard about them. And now I think it amplifies it. And I think it's just the time frame is what they come out. We want to see that.
Yeah. I see. You mentioned that about the release date. Why are they released in the fall? Okay.
It's Oscar bait, baby.
Okay.
It's Oscar bait.
So Oscar maybe.
But
any other reason? What you just touched on? You think? Or is that right?
Wait, interesting.
We want to be voyeuristic. We want to. We're coming to. I don't know.
I don't know. I honestly, I think it.
When fall comes, I start feeling this like I start wanting to. I like game more. I watch movies more. I want to watch documentaries more.
We're gonna do some of that soon, aren't we?
Heck yeah. So I'm just saying, it makes me want to like not escape reality. I mean, I guess you could say that. But isn't that what we're saying? I want to go be Freddie Mercury for 2 hours.
Right.
Cool.
Right.
Wow, it'd be great if I could just sing with this beautiful woman, and you want to, and so you're like, oh, we'll go watch Star is Born or something, So
not that you want to get AIDS and die, but at the same time, and you know what happens to him if. Oh shoot! I hope that's not a spoiler.
Is that a spoiler alert? Freddie Mercury died of AIDS.
Right now.
Anyway,
Straight Outta Compton, same kind of ending.
Yep. But I didn't know that. Well, I know Easy.
Well, he died, so
I know that.
No surprise there.
Easy,
no spoiler
Easy,
there, dude.
Easy did it. Easy got done.
Easy come, easy go.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah. Okay. So we talked about a couple things of why they're important. What else do I have here when it comes? Okay, another thing that I absolutely adore.
Yeah.
Especially like a lot of these movies aren't things that I would like. I like Queen music. Like I've always had a fancy for it.
Sure.
Like especially several songs.
Yeah.
But I didn't know a lot about them. I knew a little bit about Freddie Mercury, very little. So then learning about it that way was fantastic. Like learning about somebody who you know the music of, but then you see this like where it comes from, where the music
creative process.
Yes.
Yeah, I just know that about you in general, Jay. You're usually off, and I am too. We're fascinated about the creative process.
Right.
Like, how do you do that? Jay?
Yeah. How did you do that?
Like, I saw a coffee table book this thick about how George Lucas did Star Wars.
Right.
I was like, well, of course he'd have that book.
Yeah. I mean, I just like that.
How do you do that?
How do you do what you do?
Yeah.
And
so that's beautiful because when I heard, gosh, I don't know the actor at the time, but he played a producer or an engineer for Ray Charles, He's Ahmet, Mr. Ahmet. I think he was of Arabic descent or something.
Okay.
But he called him Omelette, you know, in the screenplay at least. He teased them. But he started humming the song. Like, I got this one idea. It's like, hum, 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 barbecue, hum, 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 hum. He's going to mess around. And it wasn't that twangy, but it was like, mess around. I'm going to mess around. And then Ray got in there with his, like, super soul and was like, all right. And they wrote Mess Around. And I was like, that's how Messing Around was written.
Exactly.
I mean, you know what I mean?
That's what I love about
it's a
that.
screenplay. Okay, is it real or not? But
right.
I mean, I'm going to go with, let's just believe it.
And you know what? I'm fine with that.
I bet you in this truth age, though, of fact checking, though, I bet you people are getting a lot more in tune to make sure they get it right.
Absolutely.
Ever since the days of Mad Men, where it's like, we're going to make a set where everything really was from 1959, and people are like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. How did you do a set?
Right.
It's so historically accurate, it's not even fun.
Right. And then there's those who go to that length.
I think every movie coming out is going to be that.
Well, some of them don't, and they still get criticism. Queen, the movie, is not historically accurate. In
Okay,
a lot
it's
of
not.
ways.
Okay, I didn't know that. So you
Or
probably
Bohemian Rhapsody, not Queen, but
yeah, I know what you meant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you do have to add some kind of fan fiction in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. As they're writing the screenplay, they can't just go with what the life. Sometimes, I think most times, they can't just go with that life and be like, we can make it happen, because you have to have certain things happen in a story. In a movie,
that's true, and
it has to happen.
And that's
this
what
way.
I was saying about like the Get Down. You know, yeah, you can go documentary, but there's still characters and there's a story happening here.
Right.
And you can't just. I mean, and not everyone's life is this perfect story with character arcs and a midpoint. Like that's a movie,
right? And everyone's life doesn't have those.
Yeah.
They have to fabricate some of that, or at least at a certain point in the story.
I know that.
Now,
I'm trying to write my own story.
We can't go down that road at this point in the story in his life.
Right.
We have to reshape that to a certain extent somehow. Yeah. So there's got to be creative process there, at liberty to have creative process and create it the way you need to. Yeah. But you have to walk that line.
Hey,
walk that line.
You have to.
You have to, otherwise you fall on one side or the other. So I think Queen did a good job, because I don't know better. But like you said earlier, those who are watching and know that, oh, he's not playing it exactly right.
Yeah.
Right? You know, if you know what you're looking for, you can find fault with it. Mm-hmm. But if you can just, believe to disbelieve a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, like there's an element of make-believe in movies, man.
Well, I did that with Sweet and Lowdown, just because it was so long ago, in 1930 or whenever that jazz guitarist was living. Okay. So I was like, okay, who really knows? I mean, but when they do a biopic from someone who's modern, which I'm sure they're going to probably do. I mean,
it's got to be incredibly accurate. You're right.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, because I would live there and I was there and I watched that music video and that wasn't like that. And they're watching on the wrong kind of television set. We didn't have that kind of television set back in 86.
They didn't do that. They didn't break up over here. Yeah. That didn't happen.
Yep, that didn't happen. Right. And during that video, they were definitely...
He didn't write that song.
Dude, I don't know, because, and that's what I'm saying, we're so passionate. And I get that with any music biopic. When I walk into that theater, I go, okay, I'm a musician. I get that. I'm going to leave that behind. Stop being... And I'm just... like that in general. I'm pretty analytical. With a lot of sci-fi. I'm always like, could that be real in space? Let's see here. Break that down. There's no oxygen, therefore the fire. Oh, the Martian's fake.
You're a scientist.
Yeah,
man.
I know, and I do that. And my coworkers will geek out about it. We're like, yeah, the part of the Martian. Yeah, how could there be fire? I mean, really, there's no oxygen, so therefore the fire can combust. You know, it's just like, it's a movie, dude. He has to light the poop on fire to live.
Well,
everyone relax.
Last Jedi and the bombs.
Did I text you that?
No, you had Facebooked it.
I Facebooked it
on my post.
Okay. So how did you know I had a problem with that?
Yeah.
Okay, but later on, I watched some guys YouTube and everything wrong with and the little counter, like all the sins, and they're like, so somehow bombs, there's gravity in space. I was like, yes, someone else noticed. So,
but at the same time, I
forgot what we're talking about. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway.
Okay. So let's bring it back. What were we talking about? Okay.
Noticing the little details and trying to be super anal retentive about it. That's all. Yeah.
And you can't because you have to have liberty to make up some stuff. It's a movie.
Yeah, it's a
movie. Not a documentary.
That's right. And you can't toe the line.
Right.
So
exactly.
So one or the other, dude.
Right. And I know that I'm sure The Doors is not exactly historically accurate. I'm sure it's because Stone has done a lot of historical pictures. Most of his material is something about history, something has happened.
That's true.
Really, if you look at almost every one of his movies, except for Natural Born Killers.
I was gonna say, that would came to mind.
That particular story never happened, but. That we have a lot of serial killers.
Yeah, there's a lot of freaking psychos now.
Yep. Not because of that, though. We can't go down that road.
Oh, no, I didn't say because of that.
I'm just making sure.
Whoa, okay. I was definitely not saying that.
I just want a little context here.
Don't make me go I'll have to get all my copies of Grand Theft Auto and burn them all because that's what makes people violent. Mm-hmm. They're video games.
Not parenting at all. Mm-hmm. Or lack of.
Yep. So, the only second topic I had here is... real musicianship. The real musicianship.
Oh, so the
I touched on that.
Authenticity of
That's what
music.
makes a good. And I touched on that too. Like, especially if the guy is singing his own parts.
Yeah.
Or he's really even playing that.
That's always
guitar.
impressive.
It's like, dude, that's it. So for me, that's what makes definitely a good biopic.
Well, that circles right back to Oscar time, because when you have an actor who is not a singer, who is not a guitar player, and they learn the craft to a certain extent, or do some of it for real.
Yeah.
That is Oscar. Someone, I mean, if you look at anybody who plays someone with a disability,
right?
A good act. I mean, look at Daniel Day-Lewis. You look at Tom Hanks. My Left Foot.
Philadelphia. Tom Hanks.
Yep, exactly.
Keep on. I'll name him.
Forrest Gump.
Okay, right.
Oh,
yeah, Forrest Gump. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
I mean,
disability.
There's so many more. I mean, you can go on and on about these actors who and they get more fucking Oscar buzz.
The guy in Lebowski, that did not occur to us, dude. He passed away. Talented.
John Goodman.
No, not Goodman. No, the other guy, the blonde. He passed away. Seymour Philip Hoffman.
Seymour.
Is that the right order?
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman. Mm-hmm. He's amazing. Did he play a blind man? Did he play a disabled character?
I don't know if he played a disabled character. Maybe.
Oh, well, I know Pacino did Send Up a Woman, which is fine. Okay, anyway, I digress. But
anytime,
I'm going to look into that. I swear, Seymour Philip Hoffman.
You have an actor who is portraying a disability. That's a huge feat, and if it's believable.
And Jamie Foxx was blind. Hey, by the way, topic-wise, he was Ray Charles.
Exactly, and he gets an Oscar nod at least. I don't think he won. Maybe he won.
I don't know.
He was nominated.
He should have been nominated. He should have, because it was incredible.
I'm not always historic. I'm not always accurate in my claims here, but I know. I
not either.
I never claimed.
I look it up later. No. There was one thing I want to correct.
What's that?
This is not really a correction.
John
Cage.
Fall off here, man.
John Cage.
John Cage.
Johnny
Cage, like from Mortal Kombat?
Stop, because you tried this before. I said Johnny something. I thought it was Nick Cage. And I was like, Nick Cave, and you're like, no, stop doing this. You like took me on all these tangents. I was like, no, stay right here. His name is John Cage, and he recorded like 3 minutes of silence.
Okay,
it was like his avant-garde thing, and I brought it up in a period piece, but I couldn't name it.
Oh, that's the one. Okay.
Not only could I not think of it, but yeah, you were like not helping. But, no, you were trying to help, and I appreciate that. But you were like, yeah, Nick Cage.
You were
Johnny
not
Cage,
helping me.
Johnny Cage? No, Johnny Cage. Oh, from Mortal Kombat. It's like, no. He was a composer. We're talking about music. You always want to go to video games. Yeah, you're worse than me.
I know.
For crying out loud. Okay. So.
All right. So how about this? Wait. I'm sorry. I don't mean to shortchange.
No,
full circle?
Here we go.
Full circle.
Is it time?
I think it's time.
Time for the top 5 list?
Top 5 list.
Top 5 high five.
Top 5 high five with 40.
Featuring special guest, Fody Odie.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, man. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Yeah.
That's right.
All right, so let's get this.
Rob and I used to live together. These were a staple.
Yeah, it's Friends from College Weekend, and featuring special guest podcast. And we're gonna do a little more, tomorrow. We'll refresh.
Oh, we have more to do.
Refresh.
Yeah. It might look like it's a week from now, but it's the same day.
Yeah.
Okay, so top 5. Do you want to go back and forth? Do you want to go your 5, my 5? How do you want to do this? Your home team.
Yeah, I think we should. I go first.
Exactly.
I got 5. I'll go first. I've already been sandbagging them.
Exactly.
I'm going to get Ray Charles out of the way. They're no particular order, like we do with our movie scores, movie soundtracks. I love Ray.
Do you know I didn't see it?
I love Ray. That's okay. I didn't see Straight Outta Compton. We'll trade. Okay. You go watch that. I'll go watch this. And we'll report back in 6 months, and then we'll do another high five.
6 months.
6 weeks. So Ray.
Okay.
Amazing. And here's why. And I'm gonna do like 1 or 2 sentences on each one because I have to explain.
Sure.
I'd love to talk
a little bit. Just don't rifle through
Jamie
list.
Foxx, amazing.
Okay.
And the best part of the movie is his mother's words at the end.
The best part of the movie is the end.
Best part of the movie. Well, this is memorable. I mean, why did you like it so much? I mean, I like it so much, but just the take home message was she said to her son, and obviously this came from like the Force, like from beyond, because it was she was addressing his modern day heroin addiction. Oh, because she died when he was young, but she said, something about the difference. I forget how the quote goes, but it's about being crippled and being addicted, but you're still crippled. It's like you're gosh, how do I say that? I never wanted you to be crippled or disabled, but you end up still being disabled. It's like, and he realized that he could control the heroin, control the drugs, but he couldn't control his blindness.
Right.
And his mom said this epic quote at the end. And you know what? I'm gonna have to rewatch that because it just, I just remember it was like this thing. It's like, Ray, you got to decide your music. It's like you're watching it, you're just like, oh my gosh, Ray Charles, get up. Ray, you're so awesome. You're fighting for Ray, you know?
Right.
And then his mom
Rocky.
comes in, oh yeah. So that was it. That was the feels. That's the point of the movie I think is highlight.
Okay.
It's a real long movie. It's just well, it's actually a tad too long. I would critique it for a few reasons. And I don't know. It's amazing. It's in my top 5. So everyone should go watch Ray. I just feel like everyone should watch
I will
it.
have to watch it. Can I add my just a quick little lib? I don't like Jamie Foxx.
Oh, okay.
And so I tried to watch the movie, and I think Tina finished it. I walked away. I just don't like Jamie Foxx.
It's hard.
Even though he may be portraying him very, very well.
I've heard that before about,
And I know, and he probably deserved the Oscar.
Well, people feel the way about Tom Cruise and Tom Hanks.
That's very true.
It's like, wow, this guy, okay.
That's very true.
But it's like, dude, I just something about him. I just can't stand it.
Exactly.
And you're like, why? Anyway.
Okay.
That's fine.
Number 2.
In no particular order, Sweet and Lowdown. I touched on that. That's a Woody Allen movie.
Sean Penn.
Sean Penn plays the lead of Emmett Ray, who was a talented jazz guitarist, American jazz guitarist, who was forever in Django Reinhardt's shadow because during that era, Django was like...
What era?
I want to say late 20s.
Late 20s, I was going to say 30s, okay.
And 30s.
Okay.
You know, it's before the 40s because Charlie Christensen came in with electric guitar somewhere in the 40s. So I think it's before that when it was very acoustic-based. This is not electric guitar.
Okay.
So the reason why that movie's so great, and actually this toes the line, this is different. And I wanted to bring it up about 15 minutes ago. I'm looking, about 15 minutes ago. You had to pick one or the other. Be a documentary, man, or don't. Like, what the hell? You know?
Right.
But if you watch it, there's edits where Woody Allen's talking. He's like, so what we don't, so he was definitely boorish, and he was definitely this. And so it's a little bit, and then there's another historian comes in.
Woody Allen, man.
And another historian comes in, and he's like, what we do know about Emmett Ray was this, and then not this. And then there'll be another 25 minutes of movie. And then they'll come in a little bit. Actually,
weird.
It's only during the beginning.
Sounds fragmented.
Usually. No, but it's done really well because I think they told the line only during the first 20 minutes or the first half of the film.
Okay.
The second half, the story takes hold, and there's a love story. You're enthralled, and I think they stop. Maybe at the end, when at the end, maybe they speak. So it is towing the line, and I think you can toe the line. I think that the reason why that's in my top 5 is not only because Sean Penn did an impeccable job at being a jazz guitarist, which is freaking hard. The movie also, the guy who did the Howard Alden is the guitar player who did the score and soundtrack. Because I thought it was Bucky Pizzarelli. I think Bucky Pizzarelli did a few of them. Okay, when they made the movie in that year...
We're still talking about Sweet Lowdown, right?
We're talking about Sweet Lowdown. Like they didn't use all old recordings. They used some old recordings, but it had... That's another reason why I love it. It has an entirely new original soundtrack performed from the ground up by Howard Alden, who studied the style of Emmett Ray for years. So just like Randy Malek would study the struts and the whatevers of Queen,
right?
Sean Penn obviously couldn't do that because guitar, I'm sorry, this isn't just strutting on stage and looking skinny with a false set of teeth.
Right,
this is like, especially jazz guitar, is incredibly hard. Someone would have to practice for years. I mean, at the very least. So that was not the option for Sean Penn, who still did a good job, I think, and was probably trained because Howard was probably on set saying, no, my hands actually do this for the song.
Right.
So Sean is acting out Howard's real guitar parts. And Howard is just composing original music that is in the style of Emmett Ray. So it's like Inception. How many layers deep are we?
Yeah.
So what you're seeing is this guy who learned from this guy who is just making original score from this guy. You're so many layers back.
You make it sound so interesting. Like I really want to watch that movie. I just hate Woody Allen.
It's also jazz. Some people are like, jazz? Like, fucking hate jazz. I mean,
I know a lot of people.
I know you like jazz, so that's cool. And
I got ridiculed a lot for the music that I've got from you.
Yeah.
Like, quickly, I go to Rob for... I used to go to... Until we finally connected again. I used to always go to Rob for my music. Whatever Rob told me to listen to, dude, listen to.
Well, it goes with movies too.
Well, there's a little.
You suggest movies to me, I'm watching them. Yeah. We just
reciprocity.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3.
Number 3, The Doors.
Nice addition
With Val Kilmer.
Okay.
I love that one.
Okay.
And here's why. I bought the CD. And come to find out, and I think I knew it just from rumors and stuff because there was no internet. There was rumors that Val Kilmer sang all the songs. And I bought the CD.
And he did, didn't he?
And I opened it up. And in there, vocals by Val Kilmer. You could see all the evidence. That's how we did things, kids. We had to read. Yeah. We had to open things up. We had to go and discover something.
Find something. Yeah,
we weren't just looking at a screen and be like, hey, and even talk to it. That's the thing, even more beef. At least we had to type. Now the kids can just talk into it.
I know.
Anyway, pretty soon it's going to be just thought control.
Sci-fi time, man.
Hey, what about thought control?
What have we been watching for the last 30 years,
Now I just go like this. I'm watching Queen right now.
And I'm changing the channel. Watch this. I'm going to change the channel.
Oh. He's like, tune in.
Hey, we're podcasting right now.
Hold still. Here, hold your left hand up, like human antennas. Anyway,
that's awesome. Okay,
so I love The Doors, and here's why: because Val Kilmer sang all the original parts, and for 1993 or whenever that came out, I think that's revolutionary.
I was gonna say 93, 95, somewhere in that time frame. So
high school for me.
Good choice, man.
Yeah. Number 4, Spinal Tap. And you cannot break rules on this because Spinal Tap is a band.
It is a band.
It is a band that made a record and they tour, even though they're all fake names. I get that. It's like saying the Gorillaz. Oh, the Gorillaz isn't a band. Well, guess what? The Gorillaz won Song of the Year in 2005, the Grammys, with Feel Good Inc. And they won. The Gorillaz, dude. The Gorillaz are a band, but they're just made up Damon Albarn characters.
I don't know if I can accept that.
Spinal Tap is a music biopic, and it's amazing. And
first of all, a little check mark there. And then, so I love Spinal Tap. I'm not going to argue that point at all. Right. But it's a mockumentary, though. It's not about a story. It's not about someone. It's about a particular camera following a group. It's like the
you know what? It is a documentary.
I don't think I can accept it. Do you have a backup?
Purple Rain.
Is this okay? Purple Rain.
The purple rain.
Purple Rain. I had a feeling it was out, and I'm like, that's got to be.
That's it.
I had to decorate Man's Cave a little bit.
Well, it was one of my top 10 movies I was going to do for my movie beats, because I love that movie.
Yeah, you mentioned it before. Yeah.
And actually, Sweet and Lowdown almost made the cut, but I was like, no. I'm telling you, Sweet and Lowdown is a very good movie to watch.
Okay,
but
so
I think it just hit to me because it made me appreciate jazz guitar so much more, and it helped me spend 5 or 10 years studying jazz guitar,
right?
And it made me become a better musician. And not many movies do that. And Ray makes me want to like sing better soul music and play piano the right way.
Yeah.
So, but Purple Rain, dude.
Hey, man.
No, I don't think his character wasn't named Prince. I don't think.
No,
but it was him. His abusive father was in it.
Yeah.
His home life was in it.
It's his story in a way.
Can you accept that?
I'm gonna accept that one.
Yes.
I have no problem with that.
Ding, 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 ding,
I have no problem with that one at all. It's not a pure blood, but it's definitely acceptable. Because I think it toes that line. It walks the line, if you will. Because, again, damn, man, it's the 4th time I've said that. So, this is the only one of any of our
is it sweet?
Options.
Is it sweet?
Okay, I want to ask you that.
But is it low down?
Wait.
Hey, I just did one.
Okay.
Hey, I did one.
All right. Number 5.
Number 5, Spinal Tap. I was just on the chance that he forgot that a minute ago I mentioned it.
And I almost did for a second there. Okay. All right. So
I don't have a 5th one.
Almost
folks.
good selection. You got top 5.
But you know what, though? It's probably going to be straight out of Compton when I watch it.
You absolutely will, dude.
There's a reason why it's so good. Yeah.
So now, I met you after...
Oh, and I haven't seen the Black Panther being James Brown yet. I haven't seen that one.
Oh, and you
Chadwick Boseman?
Chadwick Boseman. Yeah.
Boseman,
He's
okay.
the Black Panther guy.
Black Panther being James Brown? I gotta watch it.
And he also is in a really good movie called 42, which is about Jackie Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really good. Harrison Ford plays like the team president or team owner or something like that.
That's a biopic, just not a music biopic.
Exactly.
So yeah, good tie in there.
Dude.
Hey, not many people get to be a famous baseball player and like Soul Brother #1. I mean,
exactly.
Had a good life.
And a Marvel superhero.
I feel I was gonna say Don Cheadle, but look at Don Cheadle. He got to be Miles Davis, and he got to be
War Machine.
War Machine, yeah.
He's missing on the sports figure. He probably did that too.
No, he's probably Arthur Ashe. We don't know it yet. He was, or he will be in 5 or 10 years.
Now he will be. Someone heard that. Okay,
Arthur Ashe.
So not a bad selection, my friend. Not
Yes.
a bad. Now I know when you watch Straight Outta Compton, you will, and I'm going to start mine off with
Right.
just saying Straight Outta Compton.
Okay, boom. Your top 5.
It is Straight Outta Compton.
Okay.
It's one of those movies, and like when we talked about like what makes it really good, it's bobbing your head, tapping your foot. When you hear the music, you're just into it. You know, like when they played every song, created every song in Straight Outta Compton, showing you how F the Police was formed.
Yeah.
And how that happened. Like I don't know if that particular situation was exactly how it happened. I don't know. If that was
the same thing about the Ray Charles thing.
Right, right.
But let's go with it.
But so something happens, and then they create the song, and all of a sudden it's like craziness, just craziness, right? Yeah. So I loved Straight Outta Compton. Fantastic movie, and I think it's a good story. Okay, now number 2, I'll get this out of the way because it's one of yours. You know what? I'm going to say it anyway since it's on my list, and I want to have a backup plan at that. But it's The Doors.
Okay.
And the reason why I love The Doors is. While yes, Val Kilmer does the music, I didn't know that either. It sounds like Jim Morrison.
Oh yeah,
you know, and that's why I didn't even know to even think about looking at that. And I didn't know about
the look
Doors.
too, because Val Kilmer's beautiful. I mean, at the time, too,
yeah. I mean,
Jim Morrison was, sex symbol.
Yeah,
they got it right. Great casting.
And it was Oliver Stone doing Oliver Stone, the good Oliver Stone movies. Mm-hmm. Like, he doesn't make a lot of great movies, and there was a couple great ones, and that was.
I feel that way about Spielberg.
Yeah, exactly right.
But man, when he gets it right, it's like, oh man, that's good.
Exactly. Okay, so then number 3, I'll mention as Walk the Line.
Okay.
Walk the Line is
I've never watched the whole thing all the way through.
Oh.
I've only watched a few scenes, and I've been impressed by it. But I've always been like, I don't know.
Okay, so this is an interesting one for me as I'm talking this out now.
Yeah.
I only saw it the one time, but yet I bought it as soon as it came out on DVD.
Oh shit, you gotta lend that to me. Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Well, you like Johnny Cash's music.
I didn't know a lot about. I didn't like hate his music. I never really sought it out. I never was really introduced to it that way. But I knew his famous songs, Ring of Fire and all that shit. But I didn't know his music. That's what I love about the biopics. Is they just educate you.
Yeah.
On stuff that you don't know about. Yeah. That's real.
Yeah.
Hopefully, truthfully, 100% true, but that's not going to always be the case. That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
but I want to. We should call my friend Bro. Can we do Phone a Friend? We should call Jeff Brohard.
Phone a Friend.
Because Don Cheadle played Miles Davis.
He did.
And I know that Jeff read Miles Davis's autobiography.
It was biography.
No, it was a book, but I think it was auto. I think it was written by Miles.
Okay,
I think Miles wrote some of it.
Got it.
From his memoirs or something like that.
Sure.
Driving his yellow Ferrari around and stuff like that. It's just like wild shit. Yeah,
Yes.
and I think Jeff was reading in college when we were roommates. Mm-hmm. So how good was that? How good was the Miles Davis biopic?
You know what?
Sorry to derail it.
I don't know why I never saw that one. I need to watch that one.
But I'm just saying, you can watch it once and you can just feel that much more connected to it. And that's the question I have.
Okay, so I bought it on DVD, and then I tried to watch it, and it didn't have the same. And this happens with movies with me. And it doesn't make the movie any less better.
Oh.
It just does no rewatchability.
I know what you're saying,
right? And so I tried to watch it, and it didn't have the same impact on me. So
yeah,
but when I watched it though, I was like so impressed. I think I bought the soundtrack, and then I bought more Johnny Cash music, and I just wanted more. I wanted more like Straight Outta Compton.
I challenge you.
Evolution.
I challenge you to watch Bohemian Rhapsody on the small screen. Don't buy it, but I challenge you that you'll have that same feeling.
Exactly.
Because I wonder if you're looking up at a rock star, which you probably would have been looking up at a show. Right. I just wonder if that,
there's no twist.
You're constantly telling me, and I know you're right. You're like, you got to go see a movie. If you know you're going to like the movie, go see it in the theater because you're going to get that theater experience with all the fans and all the.
Yes.
If there's nothing like it.
Yes. I mean, it doesn't. It pales. Anything else pales in comparison.
Well, maybe that's what's going on here a little bit.
Maybe I'm watching Walk the Line on DVD and it does not. The music's not enveloping me. It's not swallowing me.
It's on a small screen and I'm looking at it. I'm
all the music circling around me. Yeah. That's got to be it.
Yeah.
Like we were watching Bohemian Rhapsody, which is number 4 for me.
Oh. Okay, so it's that good.
Yes,
I still haven't seen it.
I really enjoyed it, man.
It's your top 5 all time.
Really enjoyed it because it it puts you in the audience.
Okay.
And what they wanted to do, at a certain extent, was invite the crowd to be part of the music. That's why he like always did like his vocal like "Ayo," and they would have the crowd respond.
Yeah.
You know, and then they the whole "We Will Rock You" thing was about getting the crowd involved. And there's a scene in the movie where they do a song and he stops singing and the crowd finishes the song, like the complete song.
I've heard of that. That happens in rock.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I think.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't tell you what artist, but I don't go to a lot of shows. But
it was like it's like this power.
Yeah.
Of what their music did to people.
And, well, they might have been pioneers in that.
I think they were in a lot of ways. This music touches on the fact that they were like
the Beatles never did call and response to the audience,
right? Like a Pink Floyd or a Led Zeppelin, they were like a very revolutionary type of music, right?
I wonder if Led Zeppelin could get blues. I'm sorry, I was talking. You said blues.
When
did you say
I said Led Zeppelin?
Very bluesy influenced?
No, I did not.
Oh, dang it! I thought I was gonna riff on that. I was like, oh, that's exactly
riff on it though.
But that's what it came from. That they draw upon the blues, which is a call and response art form, which I was naming about hip hop evolution, which came from call and response.
Yes.
Now
you're coming full circle.
Church.
Nice.
Well, everything comes back from church.
Yeah.
I mean, between your dad's record collection, what do you hear most often? I hear this. Well, we have my dad's record collection, or someone will say
my dad's porno collection.
No, that never makes a cut. That's another film. That's another genre. I'm sure. With this, I hear musicians all the time. They either say, my dad's record collection, or they say, we went to church.
Oh.
It started in church. We just went to church.
Right.
You know, all the great musicians and great vocalists are just like, oh, we go to church.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
A lot of some of rap's greatest came from church. Came from the choir.
Now, what does church do? Can you feel it? I can feel it. You see what I'm saying? We see what you're saying. Yeah. So that happens. That's called call and response.
Okay.
So I'm just saying. And the geniuses that Queen were in Led Zeppelin, I mean, at the same time, I hate saying this because, I mean, really, they ripped off music, man. Elvis was the worst one. There's so much history, and I like how Hip Hop Evolution touches on that.
Yeah.
It's freaking reality, dude. The white man coming and stealing what the black man made.
Yep.
Frankly, or the red man, or whatever. You know, I mean, I hate to say it. You know, I'm not. You know, I don't wish I was of color, but there's a whole lot of times I wish I wasn't white. I can say that. You know what I'm saying?
Then you look at those who have been through that and found out what to do, and look where they are. Yeah. Like look where Drake had to come from to get to that point. Right. It's like holy crap. Right. If they ever able, if they have that, not everyone can do that. Obviously, you have to have the right mind, the right perseverance, the right power to do that. But my God, once they do, woo! Yeah,
they make that connection.
Yeah, that's right.
They make a connection.
Right. And that's what's the thing. Is this music? Like I say, music's not one of my I love music, but I don't need it. Right? I don't need it around me at all times like some people do. And that's great. That's fine. I just like silence. That's okay. But when I hear good music, it affects me. That's great. And that's what I love about these. Maybe
that's why you reserve yourself for that.
Yeah.
When you're ready
Plus,
to,
it's a movie.
Yeah.
So it just goes hand in hand. It's for dude. Yeah. Right. Okay. Now I need to give you my number 5.
Okay.
The Buddy Holly story.
Oh.
Starring Gary Busey as Buddy Holly.
Really?
Yeah, I saw it when I was very young, and it always stuck with me. Yeah. And it's a biopic. It's about his life, and I don't know how accurate, but it starts with him becoming Buddy Holly.
That's so cool.
And him,
and that's 80s
crashing
too, right?
The plane. Yeah. It's Gary Busey, so yeah, his early 80s.
I forgot that.
I think early 80s. Yeah.
Okay, I forgot that. Lou Diamond Phillips played La Bamba. I forgot about that one. Yeah, because you just reminded me.
Yep. Jennifer Lopez played Selena.
Oh, okay.
Famous Hispanic, not R&B. It wasn't R&B. It was around, but
I know that. Yeah, Selena. I know it's a genre. What is that? I think it's R&B. Yeah. It's like Sade. It's sexy background music.
How about Tina Turner? A couple that undesirables that we haven't mentioned.
Man, Tina Turner.
So I gave you my 5. Here's a couple extras.
Okay.
La Bamba, La Selena. What's love got to do with it?
Who played Tina?
I thought I wrote it down. I didn't. Isn't it Angela Bassett?
We'll look it up. Okay, that sounds about right.
I think it's her. Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne plays Ike.
Gosh, Bass is
Yeah.
so beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
She's still acting, man. Yeah.
And that's a biopic, right?
Yeah.
That's about Tina Turner and Ike Turner and their foundation and where she came from and the troubles that they've had and where she became.
No kidding.
And her becoming Tina Turner, right?
You know what? That's huge. Okay.
And I bet you they didn't even touch on Mad Max 3, Beyond Thunderdome.
Oh, because she was in there, yeah.
Right? And I bet they didn't touch on that, just like they didn't touch on, I just have to say this, I know you haven't seen it, but they didn't touch on Queen. I'm sorry, on Flash Gordon at all.
Oh,
the Queen movie.
they should have.
They didn't even talk about it. They didn't even mention it.
Like, hey, man, we got a movie coming up.
Exactly.
Oh, that could have been cool.
Just a little sly little thing.
Not at all.
Just a little thing. Nothing.
Maybe it's like this. It's like, it's so huge, Jay, that if they would have mentioned it a little bit, it would have been doing it a disservice.
I don't think so. I think you could have thrown it in there.
You were so hungry in hindsight.
Come on, man.
Okay, let's say this. Let's say it really was in there, and they just glazed over. Would you be sitting right here saying, yeah, they just had one dumb little sentence, like, oh, the movie Flash Gordon, and they went on?
No, because
the
movie was full. The movie was full of historical references,
Yeah,
and
so
that
like,
might not be a really important time. It
yeah.
just they also did Highlander, so they didn't touch on their movies at all.
Highlander?
So, yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
Coal Miner Daughter, I mentioned earlier.
Okay, yep.
Now, 8 Mile, I think, falls into the other category.
I had
of
a piece
not,
of my 8 Mile, yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't like the movie, but... I mean, it was okay, but it's just... Yeah.
I don't agree with the acclaim it gets.
Yeah,
it gets a lot of buzz, and I think a lot of it from people from Michigan.
Yeah, that's true. And we surround ourselves. That's
Right.
that's the other thing I was trying to say. I also have musician friends, and I have all these. So I don't want to base my bias just because me and my friends are into it. Does
Right.
that make it bad or make it good? You know?
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
But hey, that's your personal opinion.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned Miles Davis earlier. I had that down here.
Okay.
Get On Up is the one by the Chadwick Boseman, James Brown.
What's the Miles Davis one called? I forgot.
The one that Don Cheadle is in?
Yeah.
There's a reason why I just wrote Miles Davis. How about Jerry Lee Lewis, Great Balls of Fire?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Who did?
That's Dennis Quaid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's definitely 80s then.
Yeah, definitely 80s. Or
Yeah.
late 80s.
Yeah.
Late 80s.
I think I saw that one and liked it.
Now, Charlie Bird,
Ooh.
Forrest Whitaker.
Oh.
It's a Clint Eastwood movie.
Even better. And I heard of that one. And
I think you need to watch that.
I think Forrest Whitaker's amazing. Yeah,
I think you need to watch that.
Yeah, I think Clint Eastwood's a good director too. Yeah.
I don't like his movies now, but I've always
Are you
been
gonna
impressed.
watch The Mule? You gonna watch
I
that
haven't
Mule?
seen anything for it because when I see his name, I'm not impressed with his material anymore. Like I think it was the last okay one was the one in Michigan, the Gran Turismo, Gran Torino.
I was gonna say he peaked at "Get off my lawn."
Exactly.
Get off my lawn.
That's not a peak. That's a fall off point. That's not a peak. That's like point of no return. I think. I haven't liked his movies. Anyway,
What if you go up a cliff and then you fall right off at the top? What's that called?
It is, but he's not. That's not the top of the cliff, man. He's not at the top of the cliff there.
If you're splitting hairs with what the golden age is,
I know.
Over the cliff means
Busting balls.
Busting balls. All right.
How about a movie that's not quite, but kind of is Boogie Nights?
Oh,
It's about John Holmes in one way, shape, or form.
so but is it
Kind of.
It's not a music. It's a biopic,
Right,
but
just like
not
we said
music.
earlier, like some of those other ones, right? Okay, and the last one, the one that I have never been able to find, the one that I want to watch really
one that got away.
bad. There's a movie called Elvis.
Okay.
It's directed by John Carpenter.
What?
It's a made-for-TV movie, directed by John Carpenter. And do you know who is Elvis in that movie?
I'll never guess.
Kurt Russell.
Get out of here.
It is, I forgot the year. I didn't write it down.
What?
Yep. Yeah. Fantastic. I got to find it. I say fantastic because the idea of it's fantastic, right? I hear it's really good. He got an Emmy or whatever they get for TV for that role, that movie. Okay.
Did you watch the new Kurt Russell Santa Claus thing on Netflix?
No, I have not.
You
But now
got
when I see Kurt Russell, I'm going to watch it.
You should.
And
I know. Every time I
excuse.
see you, I just want to crack up.
So the last thing I want to talk about,
Anyway.
let's get this over in a couple minutes here.
Okay.
I want to talk about now that we've talked about things that have been out, what about what you want to see? What musical biopic do you want to see?
Don Cheadle play Arthur Ashe.
Sports biopic.
Oh, musical
Music
biopic.
yes.
What do I want to see? I want to see. I want to see Beastie Boys.
That's a great one.
Very underrepresented. It's
a great one.
Especially since NCA is dead now.
Greatly
those guys-
underrepresented in
And Hip Hop
Hip Hop
Evolution.
Yes.
Honestly, they were. I mean, they touched on it, but I just think seriously, there's some artists they're probably like Outkast. They're probably like, well, we need $300,000 to do that, because So I don't want to.
Or maybe they didn't feel that they were that important to the evolution of hip hop.
Or maybe we'll see them in maybe the modern because they span a long.
That's
era.
true.
So maybe we'll see them.
That's true.
And Outkast
bridging
too.
the gap.
That's what I'm saying.
Very
Outkast too.
tie everything together.
Because when they did that double album, Equipment Eye and Love Below, when they did that, it was like 2003 or something. I was just like all in. The most genius. And I saw the Big Boy live. I still think Big Boy is a phenomenon. They talk about raps and they're showing some raps. Big Boy from Outkast is like, it's a phenomenon, dude. It's like CeeLo Green. They didn't even talk about CeeLo too. That's the thing. Dude, they're gonna be some.
Yeah, well, season 3's gonna have 4 episodes.
Yeah, they're gonna have something in there. Yeah, right. Anyway, so I'd like to see that. I'd like to see someone do a biopic on Outkast. Actually, that's what I was getting at.
The Beastie Boys. You have Outkast.
Beastie Boys, Outkast. I also want to see a biopic on. Gosh, I don't know how to do this. If this is accurate.
How about let me give a couple while you percolate? Because this is a brand new question to you.
This is a crazy question. Yeah, I love it.
So percolate.
I'll percolate a little.
So I'd like to see. This is a really tough one, but I wouldn't mind to see the Beatles.
Okay.
No
didn't
more
they do that already? No, they didn't.
They've had
8 days a week. Ron Howard did 8 days a week, which was a documentary.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and they've had people playing the Beatles in movies, but I don't think that. It'd be interesting. Another one I'd love to see, because I don't know enough, and I think he's fascinating. David Bowie.
Oh, they haven't done that yet.
But when do you do you don't do a biopic when someone's still alive and someone's still. He's not. Wait, I'm sorry. Is David Bowie still alive?
Dude, no, he's totally dead. He died in 2015.
God. Okay, so 3. Oh, so I've been asleep for a couple years.
Yeah.
Okay, thank God.
No.
Okay.
But that's amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe soon.
Scratch that. But I have some idea. I know people who are alive right now that I would love them to do a biopic. Stevie Wonder, for example.
Yes,
like him being blind. That's another great one. Yeah, but he's still alive. I was like, no, and I don't want him to die. And like Herbie, I mentioned Herbie. There's a Herbie document. So don't mention these guys. Like rap these men in bubble wrap.
That's true. Okay, so
there's too many people dying. Wrap these guys in bubble wrap.
Sorry. Forget that. So let's forget that part of the comment.
Okay.
But I would like to see a Bowie.
Yeah, Bowie.
Because I don't know enough about him. I find him fascinating.
There's millions of people that like to see that.
So Levi and Jesse, or maybe just Levi, loves the Labyrinth.
Oh, really?
And they love David Bowie.
Yeah.
The Goblin King.
Yeah, dude.
It's fantastic because he's so fascinating.
He is.
And the way he talks and
he's
his
all
cadence
in,
the
dude.
movie is so fucking fantastic.
He's the real deal, man. Yeah.
And then how about an easy one? I have Herbie down here, by the way.
Herbie Hancock?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then Michael Jackson.
Yeah. No, that's yeah for me too.
That's a really
but that'd be hard to do.
It would be incredibly
because
hard
it's
to do.
like from his like birth. I mean, like talk about editing, man.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, they did a good job with Ray because Ray he could see. He could see when he was a kid. That's how he learned how to play piano.
Right.
Because he could see.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he couldn't see. And I was like, oh crap, you know. So Michael.
Exactly.
I mean, Michael went through a lot too, but
I'd
want to see it. No, I agree.
I would love to see that. Now, how about one that's I don't know if about, but he's fucking crazy. Is Meatloaf?
No, I don't want to see that.
No? Okay.
No? Okay.
How
no, but I got to disagree with you on something.
How about exactly right? Yeah. How about Guns N' Roses?
You know what? I think so, but especially if it was like with their first album with Appetite.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Because that's legendary.
Because then it goes downhill from there. Okay, so maybe that's not that good of a one.
Yeah, but
very short-sighted and not short-sighted, but it's. I don't know if they. I'm
going to go maybe on that one because it could be very interesting. Options. It could be very interesting, but at the same time, it could just be like, wow, these guys are full of shit.
Well, let's.
I heard it was a lot of. I mean, they were very talented, but a lot of it was just like they had the look and the image, and they were getting fucked up, and they were just playing the right clubs at the right time, doing the right thing. And it was like, you know, and that just saddens me.
Okay, and then if you know what, here's the thing. You can't include them because they were very short-windowed.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying.
Anything that's a music biopic.
Yeah,
is
when you say Michael Jackson, that's what I'm saying.
Term.
Stevie Wonder, like,
right?
What about this life and your struggles?
It's not about your record deal. Yeah. It's about your life.
Yeah,
it's about a look of your overview of what happened through your life to get you to what people know is you. Right.
But there might be like Slash and Axl. They might have had problems with their family. Who knows?
Sure.
So you would learn something that you never did.
Exactly. That's why they're fascinating. Now, my last one that I'll give, and I'll give you the floor. Led Zeppelin.
Okay. I that's up there with Guns N' Roses, and probably more so actually.
Gotta be more so
because it's a little older,
very much older, and they span the test of time,
and they do,
and they're still utilized.
Well, and there's
everywhere today,
and there's still a lot of secrets and black magic in their recording process that I don't think that are still kind of coming to light. People are like, oh, didn't you know that? Yeah, we actually did that. Well, that's actually how we did it. Like they still like, I think this week there was a chord from Immigrant Song that they called like the lost chord or the chord they couldn't find or something like that. Not they, like guitar players who were like, there's this one chord, and Jimmy Page has even commented on it, like, yeah, I did that on purpose, I just didn't want people to know or something. I'm just saying, even modern times in 2018, we're still learning about them in the process. So
prime fodder, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. A biopic, all the things we just said, which makes a good one. Right. You could make that a good one.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I feel that way about Stevie. Maybe not Herbie, just because he's Herbie, but it definitely all the vocalists.
Herbie would be a fantastic one. The people he's worked with.
Okay. Well, if you can do Charlie Parker, then you can do Herbie, sure. But I'm just saying, if you're gonna have like a walk the line, you have to do it on a vocalist because the show's not called The Piano. The show's called The Voice. The show's called The Voice. It's not called The Guitar.
Exactly.
People don't care about musicians, Go ahead. What?
Game over.
Game over?
George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelics.
Oh my gosh. That'd be really
Tell me that wouldn't be the greatest thing ever.
That'd be the greatest thing ever.
Right?
It'd be the greatest thing ever.
Oh,
because
my
the man
goodness.
had to do the way he... And my friend Mike Stork is a funk historian, among my other friends that are funk historians. But he did a funk trivia for a little while. You
have a lot of funk history in your.
Well, he would send emails out. Come on out to our gigs, and then at the end of the email, he said funk trivia for the day. Who was the only person to have these two top hits at the same time in 1974 with two different bands?
Nice.
It's always something
different.
George Clinton, and it was just like things like that. Like you're like, so that'd be like one of those. You're like, I didn't know that about that. Right. Oh, damn, that was how it was. Mm-hmm. Plus. A lot of, like half the crews passed. Like Bernie, George is still here, but a lot of the crews passed. That's the other thing. And there was such a huge mob. Yeah. So that'd be an undertaking. Actually,
it'd be challenging.
I might want to watch a 5-hour Netflix on it than I would a 2-hour. Okay. I don't know. I care about it too much.
So that's the inherent problem with Bohemian Rhapsody becoming a great movie.
Right, there's too much stuff to cover. They forgot about Flash Gordon.
Michael
Jackson. They're going to forget about some stuff.
No. More directly to what you're talking about with the artists involved.
Oh, okay.
Because it wants to focus on Freddie, but the band wanted it to be focused on the band because it never was about Freddie Mercury. It was about Queen. They were always Queen, right?
Okay,
they didn't break up. They was always Queen. They did solo projects, but they were Queen, right? And they wanted to be about them, so they kept interjecting everything with that. But what the true story really should have been about, unfortunately, is Freddie. He's the dynamic. He is the one, and he is the focal point. But you interject. When you try to make it about like with Parliament. If you try to do everything, no, it's got to be about George Clinton.
Oh, that's why you wrote down George. Yeah, right. It's gotta be. This is George Clinton's story.
Right.
Oh, I see that.
Exactly. It's got to be focused. Otherwise, it's going to get lost. There's going to be no details.
That's what I'm saying. Right. If it was about Parliament Funkadelic, I would watch a 20-hour miniseries.
Exactly.
Dude,
totally different.
Get out of here.
Totally different. So okay. So anything else? Now that I mentioned some goods and bads of people that I wanted to see, what else could you think of that you might want to see from a biopic musical? Anybody that comes to mind?
No, I think we I think we touched on it. I could look up there. I did think about Game
Maceo
Changers.
Parker?
Well, there's Game Changers. No, not Maceo. Maybe, but I'm thinking about Game Changers.
Okay.
Like people are like, wow, that was cool.
Yeah, Maceo's not.
How'd you guys do that? Like maybe not craft work. I think about electronic music. That's another music in it that's, I keep saying in its infancy. Infancy is not a good word to use. It's like in its childhood. It's in its like youth years. You know what I mean? Like that music, because you can date that back to when techno 80s, things like that. So it's not infancy. It's been 30, 40 years.
Sure enough.
So I would go with the Game Changers. Like Massive Attack comes to mind, but who cares? A lot of people don't want to see that because that's not mainstream. That's what I'm saying. Like you couldn't do a whole biopic on Outkast.
Right.
Even though I love it and I think it'd be awesome, like it just wouldn't be able to hold up a whole film.
Right.
Unless there really is drama, because there was two of them, and there's a lot of drama between Big Boy and Andre.
But I think
not that much drama where it's a whole.
But it has to be a dynamic, something bigger than that. It has to be somebody revolutionary, somebody that's iconic.
That's why you kept saying Michael Jackson, all these good ones. Yeah, dude, I think we touched on them all.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hey, if I can see Stevie Wonder, at the end of the day, I'm gonna second your emotion. Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson. And George Clinton, those three.
Those
I think.
Great. Those are
your
three
whole
great
list.
ones.
Those are the three ones I really want to see.
Yeah.
How did they do what they did? Because they were all game changers.
Right.
I don't know about Stevie Wonder, but and Marvin Gaye. Okay, last one. My favorite male vocalist of all time is Marvin Gaye, and his untimely death. I think that might be a really good story you could button up. But he started way back in Motown.
Yeah,
I think he
that's
could be done. Could be
really
shot in Michigan.
Good one.
Yeah, you know, that
I
would
like
be a good
that one.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Nice finish,
All right.
man. Nice.
All right.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for listening to this episode. We're gonna wrap it up here.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Rob, awesome.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Thank you, Jay.
And if you haven't done so already, click on the subscribe button, which is on that side, and watch our videos. And subscribe, like, follow, and check out the links that we're going to provide if I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Later, Rob.
Yep. Peace.